Hello friends, good evening. Welcome again to another live session. So, a good day today for most of us. Mm, yeah, my personal portfolio was really good. And I also saw some comments, on the Telegram channel also that some of you had a good day. So, really good to know that. But let's look at what has happened today, right? So, we'll start off quickly. We just have 9 people who have joined us. So Deepak Best Money has mentioned 11 is too late. I'm really sorry, Deepak, but that's the only time that works for me. But don't forget the video is available for watching the next day. So yeah, you can anyways you watch the video the next day in case you don't, um, can't attend the session at 11 o'clock. But this session is for people who are ready to join and who want, live insights. This session could be really helpful for them. And that's why I do it live, and I also answer some of the questions. So in case anyone has questions also, you can feel free to ask. Hey Dinesh, hi Prakash, hi Sagar, hi Vijay, hi Tabitha, hi Shiva. The same set of people always. Hi Nishant, Shende. Yeah, so we have 11 people, not many. I'm not sure, maybe it's the Monday blues. Hey you, Ninad. Yeah, Monday blues, maybe hectic days, I'm not sure. But we have 12 people, 14 now. Probably we can get started. But don't forget to like the video in case you joined already. It's something that we follow daily. So let's make it a habit to like this video, and you've been joining me daily. I'm really thank you for that. I'm really grateful for that. Hey Harish, hi Hemant. Good, I think we have 15. Let's start. Okay, now, uh, so Nifty is doing well. We did have a good day today. Now, yesterday we spoke about two levels, right? So we spoke about the level to go long and a level below which we'll go short. So the level to go long was above this level, right? So that was the level. If you see, we had a kind of a gap up yesterday, and we kind of came all the way down. Then again today we had a gap up and we came down. So in case you were really trading in Nifty this morning, then that could have been the level to go long, right? So I'll just go to the 5 minute charts just to look at what we did. So also we had a gap up today. Again, we filled the gap. So you could have also gone long, above this level, because that was the higher high formation, right? So we kind of had a higher high and also an inverted head and shoulders, right? So on the 5 minutes time frame, if you see, this is a very small inverted head and shoulders, right? Not a perfect one, but kind of a head and shoulders breakout there, right? So but nonetheless, you could still gone long above that point over here, and you could have made a good day. Today was a beautiful trending day. I think anyone who had been trading the expiry today, I think could have made easily 100% profit on the options. If you had bought the options here, you could have probably made even a 50-60% would have been good. But I was just checking the Bank Nifty, and Bank Nifty today had a really good move. I think that's where Bank Nifty had a really good 100% move in the options. I did not really trade. I took a trade in Naukri, but not in this one. Even Bank Nifty, if you see this morning, so this was 24th, we kind of capped up. But here, if you see the sell-off in Nifty was strong, but here the sell-off wasn't that strong. And Bank Nifty actually crossed that high, and then since then it was just a one-way move up. And if you had just kept a simple pivot concept, you'd have made really good money. But let's not focus on Bank Nifty, because we don't really focus on Bank Nifty because it's very volatile. Days like today are rare, I would say, in Bank Nifty. But Nifty was a good day, so it have made probably here the stop was 530. 553, so 25 point stop, and you could have made probably 80-point reward. Now, that was a really good trade today. You could have probably exited at the close, until then there was really no reason to exit, because there was no pivot at any point. So probably this could have been the point for you to exit, right? Just at 320, 315. But days like today are I think the best days for intraday traders. But unless you don't have a plan, you can't really trade the system, right? But probably according to our plan, we should have gone long about that point. So about today's high gap up was 585, so you could have gone long when we kind of broke that high, or even at this point you could have gone long 605. You would have made a good 30-40 points profit, right? However you trade, it doesn't matter. But by the last 2 days, if you had seen the gap down here, there was no follow through selling. That was a very clear signs of that the market Nifty is not really heading lower. So Nifty that was the first day after the gap down. Then we had gap down again. It didn't go below this level. that level 16,400 acted really strong supports. Then again we gapped up, again we didn't go lower, just filled the gap and we started heading higher, right? So the trend has overall changed, except on the daily time frame. On the hourly time frame also we have formed higher highs, and if you see, we're kind of having a parallel channel here, move here. So just connect to this point, that point, and that point are there, and that looks like a parallel channel move, right? So this trend is really strong. We are probably heading towards 17,000, which was my target in the newsletter that I mentioned, and Nifty does look good for that. But what's the plan for tomorrow? The plan for tomorrow should be any dips towards 16,590 or even 585 should be used to go long. So you can use that dip and you can buy the dip and go long. I feel that should act as a very strong support now that we've broken out from that support, right? So yeah, so if we gap down tomorrow towards 16,580 or 590, you could use that to go long. Shorts again would be only below 16,590, so or 16, probably shorts below 16,560 for targets of 500 or so, right? But for now, I think the trend is really good, and probably this trend line is something that you can watch out for. Now, if you see in this trend line, we had that 1, 2, 3, and 4. So probably tomorrow we'll open flat and then we might probably head higher or kind of go sideways. No one knows. But shorting should be done only probably below 16,560 odd. Okay, below that I will not really go long. I'll probably short below that level. So that's the plan. So the markets do look good. We had a recovery in the CNX small cap as well. And I clearly mentioned yesterday that we broke the trend line, but it's very important today for us. Today was a very important day, right? So I'm just going to the log chart, and if you see, yesterday we kind of broke that trend line, right? We had a dip below that, and I clearly mentioned that today is very important because and I also mentioned that we could have a wick forming if we close today above, and today was a very good move, 2% move, and I think a bottom is in place, and also this is a major support area even on the weekly time frame, right? So this is a very strong support. If you go to the weekly charts, you'll see that. So that was 3 weeks of consolidation before we hit higher, right? We went higher. So right now the markets have reversed, and you should be able to take reversal trades now, considering that this was a reversal. So go ahead and try to find those reversal trades with low risk reward setups, and you can go ahead and buy the stocks that you're interested in. So happy news. I hope that made most of you happy. And if your portfolio was doing really well today, then and if there are some stocks which did really well, I think many stocks like Jindal Steel went up almost 17%, and a couple of other newsletter stocks also did very well. So I think we are done, and we should head higher from here again. So that was probably a short sell-off, and mid caps in fact were stronger than small caps, and if you see, we never really went below that wick over there, right? So mid caps are stronger than small caps. So yeah, that's the view on indices, and also metal. We spoke about metal yesterday and why Tata Steel and JSW Steel look good. So yeah, that was the trend line we looked at, and again we gapped up today and we're up 2.9%. And we also looked at Tata Steel, which is one of the biggest in stocks in the metal sector. And also here we had a gap this morning, right? So probably we might go sideways for a few more days before we head higher, because there will be selling pressure. People who have bought here, they will kind of sell off and try to get out. But the stop is very clear now. 1,300 is your stop loss, and if it goes below that, then that's when we have problems and we break this trend line. Okay, so for now, all the sectors indices look good, and I think IT is taking a pause after all this rally. We've had good rally in the last 2 weeks, and probably IT might take a pause. I'm not sure yet, but this looks like really extended one-way move up, and we might see a consolidation like this, right? Before we head higher again in IT. Some other sectors, FMCG again had a sell-off today. Nestle, Britannia all had a kind of flat days. That's because of the sector rotation. But remember, FMCG had a very strong breakout from here. So that was a breakout that we had on 17th of August, and we kind of could probably retest also this level. Okay, so looking at CNX Realty, Realty has done kind of a breakout retest. See, I've already drawn that, and I will also post this on Twitter multiple times. It is just a retest of that breakout. So this is one of the reasons why I say never exit the stocks, unless your stop loss hits, because it could just be a breakout retest, or we never know. So in case you're too afraid that the markets might fall, then just exit your positions and enter again once you have confirmation like today. Now, don't go run and chase stocks which are up 15%, 16%, 20%. Chase stocks which are not really that much up, like for example BEPL, right? Bansal Engineering is a perfect retest of trendline, right? If you see this is a perfect retest of trendline, and we had a very good green day today. It's up 7%, so your stop loss is 7%. Keep the day low as stop and just go long, for probably higher targets. And also if you see this one is right around all-time highs. I also covered this in the newsletter. It was a 3.5 year breakout here, and this can probably head higher. So look for setups like this, and go through my stock newsletters, stocks mentioned in my newsletter, and you can find some probably good reversals there. Okay, so that's it for the indices and a few stocks. Now let's come to our portfolio today. I'll also go through the stocks from the scanner today. So our portfolio was kind of flat. In fact, we were down, I think, 0.5, 0.6% during the day, but we kind of recovered and ended up at 0.28%. And I posted on Telegram that I added Cummins India. So today around 1000 is when I added. Now some people might ask why I added. I'll come to that shortly. But let's take a look at the charts, right? So Laxmi Chem Organics is kind of still having inside bars. So today was inside bar, and we are still, probably I'm expecting a couple of days of more consolidation, and probably we're higher again towards 400, 420. And that's the point. Probably I'm at book profits when we head towards that point, right? And then we'll try to probably trade our stop loss much closer and see if it kind of breaks out from this level. But yeah, so Laxmi Organics still looks very fantastic. It is totally doing fine. It's just a flat day today. So Fortis again kind of retested the previous day low and kind of formed a doji. On the 15-minute charts, if you see, we're just having going rectangle consolidation. So the consolidation is a 2-day consolidation already, and this looks like a very strong consolidation after that move. Again, I will wait for this to break out and then trail my stop. My stop for this continues to be 261, which is this day low, right? The day when markets kind of went down, but this stock went higher. So 261 is my stop this day. So Laxmi Chem also, the stop remains around 355, which is this day low, right? Now Birlasoft, again inside bar today. The parallel channel is still intact, but don't forget the long-term trend. The long-term trend is that this stock had a breakout here in the month of November. We had 5 months of consolidation, and it's just a continuation move up, right? So that's for Birlasoft. Cummins, again 1 week of consolidation going on, kind of good recovery today, and that's why I added more because of this move. Yeah, so I added somewhere around, I think, I'm not sure exactly what time, around this time is when I added, around 1000 is when I added. But this stock kind of looks like it's recovered from that fall, and it just, that's the trend line. Probably it's not a right trend line because we just 2 touch points. But for now, I think we've kind of made a bottom, because this was on the hourly charts. If you see, that was the previous swing low, and we kind of recovered from the same swing low. So we're still forming higher lows on the hourly charts. And also I mentioned about this recovery here, right? So that trend line recovery there, and probably the bottom is in place. Our stop loss still remains 950, but I've added more, which means my risk is now an additional 400 rupees on this stock. So if you see here, I have an additional 400 rupees risk now. So total risk here is around 700 rupees on our overall portfolio. Okay, so the next one is Tata Elxsi. Again, Tata Elxsi has recovered very nicely in the last couple of hours. Now you can increase your stop to 4570 if you want, but I think I've kept it around 4500 just to keep it a round number. But if you want to be aggressive, you can revise the stop to 4570, which is this low, because we have seen a recovery now. Now let's see where this heads. But if you notice here, we've had 4 days of consolidation, and that low around 4583, 4570, 4575 is not breached yet. So it looks good. Elxsi also, and Naukri was a stock we discussed yesterday, and this was a beautiful trade setup today. Now I'll just tell you how you can enter intraday, right? So let's say a morning your first order got triggered about 5500 or whatever, right? So first I think our first buy was triggered around this day on the 18th of August around 5500. Now you could have Yeah, this day 5,500 is what I mentioned, and probably gonna keep a stop loss around 5,100 or 5,170. And then today, when you saw this move again above 5,600, right? So we crossed 5,600 again, which was that day high. So what you could have done is, so yeah, that was the high. So what you could have done probably is added more above that point, right? And you could have trailed your stop to probably this low over here, so 5,300 odd, right? And then once we if you go to the 5-minute charts or 15-minute charts, you will see that this was just a regular consolidation after that move in the morning, right? So, and if you see, we were forming lower high, lower lows, and then we kind of had a breakout here, right? So this is purely in hindsight, you can say whatever it is, but analyzing the trades in hindsight is what can help you add quickly the position so that you don't miss the major move, and then you add more stocks, right? So also I talked about the EMA indicator also before, the 20, 50 and the 200 EMA, right? So this is an indicator which, if you're a beginner, you can use that. And if you see in the 5-minute charts here, there was this nice all the three EMAs, right? So this is the 10, 20, 50 and 200. On the 5-minute charts, there was a distance gap between all the indicators, and as and when this consolidation started, all the indicators got very close to each other. So that shows that contraction happened, and then volumes, this was the volume pickup in this move, and then the stock kind of picked up and went higher. So this could have been a very low risk setup trade if you had some time, and you could have entered, probably based on the hourly charts or something like that, right? So if you're having this position, then you can trail your stop for this position to this low, which is around 5,300. Your previous would have been 5,100. Now you could trail your stop to 5,300, and even now it's just a 460 rupee stop. You can enter even at this point, and this looks really good. It's an inverted head and shoulders breakout, and it can probably head higher from here. Okay, so that's from the stocks perspective. And here from the trading journal, if you see Birlasoft, the risk still remains. Otherwise, we have kind of trailed a stop loss everywhere, and we have hardly any risk. It's just 0.7% of a portfolio, which I'm very comfortable with. I am not in a hurry to trail my stop loss yet. I will continue to wait and see if it heads higher, then probably I'll trail my stop loss for other stocks. But for now, I have a decent position size. If you see, I have a 14% position size, Birlasoft 16%, 24%, 22%, 20%. Now, even if one of the stock moves 30%, from here, let's say one of the stocks which is 20% here, then that's a 6% move in my portfolio, right? Which is a very good move. All I'm looking for in a year is probably 20-25% is what I'm looking at, and I'm okay to let these trades run however fast it wants, right? So yeah, not much balance today. So we don't know new stocks there's no new stocks that will be entering GTT. The stop loss remains same as in the sheet, so you can quickly check that as well in case you want to. Yeah, we just have 5 orders and 5 stop losses, right? So those are stops. So I think I've not updated this. I'll update this probably soon. Okay, now just looking at the scanner today. So this is the daily scanner, which I always talk about, crossed 100. And here, if you see, we had just zooming in so that you can see it better, right? So we have Cabra extrusion, which has again given a parallel channel breakout. Now this is a very interesting stock. I think I also spoke about this before. We had it in our trade with Trendline investor, but then we kind of exited the portfolio. Let's remove all this. Yeah, so if you see here, we had this breakout from 11-year channel. So that breakout, it's a wonderful breakout. So in case you want to add it in your portfolio, you can go ahead and add it. Now, yeah, again, the stop is right now probably 15% away. You can take a small position if you want right now, and then add on the next consolidation, you can add more. Okay, so that's how I'd look at the stock. And then you had a lot of other stocks as well, Prime Focus, GTPL, Technocraft, AU Small Finance back looks very good as well. Then you have Infoedge, again, we spoke about this. CMEC, KNR Constructions, this is a very good stock, portfolio stock, in fact. So you can look at that and just go through and go through the scanner today and check. Not many stocks in the scanner, though we had a good day, right? So these are stocks which are going to head higher. So Linde has been showing up in the scanner since last couple of days. It is up 12% today. Hatsun Agro, Confipet, and Tube Investments. So these are stocks that you have to be looking at. There's no other stocks that you want to look at. And there can be thousands of stocks which can be discussed on Twitter, but you can keep jumping from one stock to another stock, and you can keep losing money, or just follow one scanner, have your rules, enter the stocks according to your rules, and make money. So that's your choice. It's completely up to you. Okay, so that's it from me. I think we're 20 minutes up already, so let's take some questions. I Again, don't forget to like the video, guys. We have 32 people who have joined us, so don't forget to like the video before I continue. Okay. So hey Shankar, hey Mugdha. So Sagar is asking, post a decent fall and then a strong day like today, would you look for strong stocks on a strong day or look for continued strength beyond this? And you look at RSI at all? RSI is, I don't prefer RSI because I use CCI. CCI and RSI are almost the same. And I think you can use either of them. But CCI I use because it doesn't have a band. The band is not restricted like RSI between 0 and 100. Right here, the band is it can go up to any number. So it shows you the real momentum. RSI doesn't really show you the real momentum. That's my take. But otherwise, I think I've discussed what you should be looking at. We have confirmed that the bottom is in place. So in case the markets don't go below yesterday's low, then we are still good. But I feel we have a bottom in place and we had a trendline reversal. So for now, markets look good. Don't chase stocks which are up 20% like that. Go for stocks which are showing signs of reversal, but also looking good on the charts. That's what you want to look at. Okay. So Mukta is asking my view on Aarti's affectance. Aarti also gave a very good move today. So in fact, it has reversed from a very key support. So that's the weekly support on the weekly charts, right? So if you see, this is a beautiful support on the weekly charts. So we have kind of reversed again. Let me put the volume. Yeah. So reversal has happened. The stop loss here continues to be around 1245. That's the low. Yeah, and can head higher. The trend is still intact on the weekly time frame. Even on the daily time frame, the trend is still intact. It's just a move up and then it's come down, right? So the swing high, swing low is still intact. You can enter the stock right now. Now, the reason I'm entering the stock today, if you had asked me yesterday, I wouldn't have said enter the stock right now. The reason I'm saying is because we have seen a reversal, and reversal is around 7%, 8%. So it totally makes sense to enter the stock right now. Okay. Orient Bell and Shivalik Biometals. Yeah, I think I'll have the same answer for most of the stocks. I think probably again here on the weekly charts, if you see, we've had a good reversal on Orient Bell, and the trend still remains intact because we've already seen a reversal on the 11th of August, and we've just done a full retracement of that, and again we are seeing some reversal signs here. So yeah, I'll still go ahead and hold the stock, or if you want, you can go and buy the stock even at right levels. So these are good stocks with low risk setups, so it looks good. So Shivalik Bimetal, oh, it's recently listed. So the trend is still up, right? So we had this massive move from 130 to almost 190, and then we had a dip, and again we have come down. So I think the previous low was held. So previous low of 11th August has been held. So it does look good. It's an upper circuit, so I'm not sure tomorrow if you get a buy. It'll probably gap up tomorrow, but you need to be cautious about your buying. Okay, so that's my take. Shankara Building Kumaragari is asking. Again, the same here as well. As I said, I'll have the same answer for most of the questions, I think. But this is a beautiful breakout from here. If you see, we've already had a breakout. Sorry, yeah. So we've already had a breakout from this level over here, and this is probably a retest. And again, I think this week, yeah, this low is still being held. So 522 is still held. So this is a very low risk setup. So probably keep a stop around 510 and you can enter the stock right now. Yeah, but the setup looks good. And I think probably this could be a trend line reversal as well. Yeah, not yet. Right. So probably a couple of more days sideways, but this could probably test the trend line reversal and then test the trend line and then go higher. Okay, so that's my view on Shankara. Asian Tiles and EIH Hotels. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. I think trading view is down. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, let me just refresh this, and meanwhile I'll take some other questions. So Jaydev is asking your view on flipping between trader and investor psychology during uptrend and downtrend aspect. What is the risk, if any? I think it's a very good question actually. So first of all, you need to have a very, if you're trading plus if you're investing, you need to have different portfolios and don't mix your portfolios. And it's very, very important to keep your investing aside, because investing portfolio, it's very clear that you will have a 40%, 50% drawdown, and you might also have some cases even a higher drawdown. That's why I don't prefer putting a lot of money in investing. So in fact, I hardly follow long-term investing. I am not that person who will invest in stocks and hold for a 40-50% drawdown. Rather, I prefer to move away from the stocks which are going down and move on to the other stocks which are going up. So I'm probably more of a positional trader, and most of my money is in positional trading, and probably some mutual funds as well. But the risk here is that you might get confused at some points, right? For example, you might get confused as to what you want to do with the investing stocks when they're going down. Your trading psychology might come in, and it might spoil your investment portfolio. And the same thing can happen for trading. For example, if a stock is down 10%, then your investing mindset might come and kick in, and then you might feel that you want to hold the stock and convert it into an investing stock. That's not how it's done. So that's why sometimes I prefer to tell people to keep your investing and trading portfolio completely different. Open two different accounts, and for investing, you don't have to really have an account, probably like a Zerodha, which is really helpful for trading. Probably open a ICC Direct or a FIRES account or some Upstocks account and invest in that, and keep your Zerodha account purely for trading perspectives, trading related activities. And that should help you at least stop that urge to keep switching your mindsets amongst portfolios. But that's very difficult to do. I know many of my friends who do that. Kind of moment they go on 20% loss, they keep it okay. Let's say they're not really worry about it. I'll say okay, probably it'll reverse, and they'll just keep holding it. So mixing a trading and investing mindset is very, very it's very common, and you shouldn't be doing that. If you're doing that, stop doing it right now. Okay, but that's how you can avoid doing it. Now, Asian Tiles, I think someone asked me this. Shiva asked me this. Asian Tiles looks in a very bad, trend. Now, this is a stock I'd avoid in such kind of markets, because these are stocks will keep going down more and more, and they'll not really come up. I think my trading view is really stuck. I'm not sure what's happened. Yeah, so that's what you should not be doing, holding stocks like Asian Tiles and in such kind of stocks in such kind of environments. These are stocks which will fall much faster than the normal stocks, right? So you see here, it has not done anything really, right? So it's just been going sideways since 2017, and probably I'd look at the stock about 300 odd levels. Until then, I'll not even bother to look at the stocks. But if you're looking from an investment perspective, and if you think that the stock is, if you have the patience to hold it, then it's a good time to buy the stock, right? Because it has actually kind of retested that parallel channel, and the only way I see from here is up. But the question for a trader is, does it have the momentum right now to trade it for positional trades? No, it doesn't have the momentum yet. Probably the momentum will pick up, and I would look at it when it probably breaks around 300 levels is when I'd look for momentum trading. But if you're investing, this is a very good time. I'd probably consider putting some money here for investing perspective, and then you trail the stop based on the weekly pivots, right? That's one of the ways to do it. Or if you're a personal trader, also if you want, you can enter the stock. Again, I said I would not prefer this because there's no clear momentum, and then you can still trail it using daily pivots. Okay. Kubragari says, Engineer India's fundamentals are good, but stock not moving. I stuck for last 3 years and 50% on the market. Also, this stock not moved. Book loss, average move. I am not going to advise on that, Kubragari. It's completely up to you what you want to do. But as I said, I will not hold stocks which are not moving sideways, and I would not even be interested in such stocks at all in my portfolio. So it's up to you. If you want to book loss, move ahead. There are a lot of opportunities. It's up to you. Krishna is asking network 18 levels to watch out for. Network 18 levels to watch out for is around 53 odd level. I already gave my recommendation of the stop loss at 45. The stop loss is still respected, and I did post my chart on Twitter. You want to go and check. Sorry, I made a video on YouTube. You can go and check that. But the levels that I'm watching out for is 50, 54 and above is when we'll have a breakout, and we might probably head higher, right? So, and if you go above 58, then I think probably heading towards 70 levels. Okay, so that's my levels that I'll be watching out for. 45 is stop. I hope I mentioned that clearly. Harish is asking difference between momentum and breakout. I think it's the same. There's no real difference between momentum and breakout. It's kind of the same, and there's not much difference, I'd say. I know that people say that there are different kinds of versions on Twitter, but for me, momentum and breakout are the same. When you trade breakouts, it's kind of momentum, but that momentum depends on what time frame you're trading, right? For example, if you look at the weekend investing small case, so they trade the larger time frame momentum, but there are also people who trade the shorter time frame momentum, but it's completely up to you. But momentum so a momentum is basically a stock like you can use an indicator like ROC. I'm sorry, just make it. So rate of change of a stock, right? So ROC, if you see, so ROC basically indicates the momentum, right? So when it goes above zero, so here I'm on the weekly time frame, and let's say I plot the 52-week rate of change, right? So this indicates what is the return or what is the return that this stock has provided in the last 1 year. So right now, if you see, it is around 19.38, which means in the last 1 year, if someone had invested in this stock, they'd be having a return of 19.38. But let's look at Laurus Labs, right? Now, if you compare Laurus Labs and Network 18, so here Laurus Lab has a ROC of 188%, right? And if you see, it was around 500% a few months back in June. So if you compare ROC, Laurus Labs and Network 18, clearly the momentum is higher on the Laurus Labs stock. It's clearly not that high on Network 18. So some people, when they choose stocks, and if they have two different stocks, they might also choose this as an indicator and go with the stock which has the highest rate of change. So that's one of the ways to do it, and that's probably one of the difference. Naresh is asking my views on DFM and more open labs. Yeah, let's take a look at it. I'm sorry, I just missed I think we have a lot of stocks today. I'm not sure if I'll have time to cover everything. Okay, let's look at more open labs. So I've already drawn something here. But again, more open labs, I think the weekly, so this week it shouldn't close below 52.45 or 50 odd levels. So I'd expect this stock to kind of recover and close above 52.45 levels, because then it's a break on the weekly time frame. But just to give you a perspective on the trend lines, I think this trend line should be respected as well. So unless we don't break this trend line, I don't see a problem. Okay, so that's a nice trend line. So I don't see a problem there unless we don't break the trend line. So DFM, I think DFM had a good move of late. Yeah, that was the move. But then here again, if you see, there's a nice support around that weekly zone around 300-320 is where you see the support. So again, it's kind of reversing today, and but again, this is a rectangle consolidation. So if you see here again, we have this major support. So it's a rectangle consolidation which is happening, and above 440 is when momentum will pick up again. But for now, yeah, it's consolidating around that all-time high. Okay, so that's my view on DFM. Okay, can we enter Jubilant in Gravita? It's up to you, Siraj. Please go look at the chart. I am not really going to say anything, but Jubilant Ingredient looks good on charts. We also discussed this yesterday. It is a trendline reversal setup, and I also covered this yesterday. So yeah, we can, if you want, it's up to you if you want to enter. The stop for me would be around 580 odd. Okay, so that's my view. Need a video on trading journal, Harish? Yes, I will do. Hi, Mahesh. Dinesh is asking, will you also look at sector diversification while selling stocks, or it's purely on India indicator? Also, how you leave out the other stocks and pick the right ones from indicator? It's purely breakout momentum. I need to see that the stock has moved very good in the past. Only then I pick up a stock in the future. You can look at the stocks that we have, right? All the stocks has had good moves in the past. I will not pick a stock for my momentum positional trading unless it has not moved really well. Okay, so that's my view. I don't diversify. It doesn't really matter. If the stock is in the red, I just pick it up. Mahesh, I don't have a view for Dabur for tomorrow. I'm not an intraday trader, but Dabur it looks good for the medium term. I don't have views for intraday. So one question, Ratnesh, if a stock has only 2% of its total value is public and rest of the shares as promoters in DI, we should buy it or not after seeing a good volume spike. Stock name NIACL. Now here, the problem is on both sides. So it can be an advantage, it can be a disadvantage. So if only 2% of the float is public, and if the promoter comes tomorrow and sells stocks, then you will not get an exit chance. Your stock will just keep hitting lower circuits. On the other side, the advantage is just because there's just 2% on the public, and if there is people who want to chase the stock or people who want to buy the stock, then the stock can go much, much higher. So advantage is also there, disadvantage is also there. So if you understand the risk, you can trade such low float stocks. It does very good returns, but I don't prefer usually low float stocks because sometimes you don't get an exit opportunity. So keep your stop loss and enter that stock, and you can trade that stock. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, I think Granules India also looks good. I think it's still kind of consolidating. Yeah, after that, I think I recommended on the newsletter when it had a breakout around here, but we kind of recovered the entire thing entire way down, right? So on the weekly charts, if you see, or even on daily charts, if you see, this is a very strong support. So I would not be really worried if you're holding this. So continue to hold this stock. Your stop loss can be around 310 odd, but if you're an investor, you should be holding the stock. I don't see a problem yet. Okay, it did form lower highs, but then again we had a higher high here. Probably this is a lower high before, sorry, this is a higher low as well, and probably we're heading higher from here. Okay, Nishant, if with the market reversal, is it okay to risk 1-2% of total capital in one stock now? View of GIC Housing Finance. It had a big dip, but are showing sign of reversal from Trendline. Market has reversed, yes, but will I risk more than what I usually risk? No. If I'm regularly risking around 1%, I will continue to risk around 1%. If you want to risk 2%, it's completely up to you. If you're okay to accept that loss of 2% of your capital, it's totally fine. But yeah, GIC Housing Finance look really good. It has kind of tried to cross that highs, but the previous swing low or the higher low here has not still broken. So I think it does look like a good pick. It's up to you if you want to invest, but yeah, it does look good. The stop loss still should be around 130, and you can go ahead. I think here with 130, 12 rupees stop, so 8%, 10% stop. I think you should still go with 1%, I feel. Yeah, but that's a nice strong breakout here, and we had a move up and we're retesting. So this looks good. You can go to 2% also, it's up to your decision. I'm not really going to comment on that. But don't go too much also. 2% is still fine regularly, but don't go above 2%. Rishi, okay, I think we have already crossed around 11:30. I'm just going to take up the learning questions. So in case you come back tomorrow, I'll pick up some more questions. But let's just look at the questions which are very helpful for others. I suggest to create more learning videos on technical fundamental analytics. Yes, Rishi, I just don't have the time for that. I will definitely do it as and when I have time. So Ashish is asking, do you invest only in stocks that come up in CC34 screener? Mostly yes, but I also check reversal setups, right? So I check both reversal and breakout. So you want to check that as well. So these are stocks that I look at usually. And sometimes on Twitter, if I see a good breakout setup, if someone is posting, I go and check that chart and then I also take that trade. So it's completely fine. Unless you know your risk, stop loss and everything is totally fine. Sandeep is asking, which technical factor decides exit at any point of time? For me, it's swing high, swing low. It's a proper, simple Dow theory concept. If a stock has to be in uptrend, it has to form higher high, higher lows. And if it is in a downtrend, it will form lower high and lower lows. And I don't follow the weekly time frame because weekly time frame is too slow for me. And I follow the daily time frame. And even a good 50-60% move in a bull market like this is totally fine with me. I am not really behind 2x 3x because I avoid drawdowns. As investors, you have 40-50% drawdown. I don't go through such big drawdowns. The maximum drawdown for me would be maximum around 20%. I don't go below 20%. Okay, Turtle Trader Prakash asking, if midcap has reversed, are we expecting to have parallel channel breakout on monthly charts? I think not much room available is within the channel. Yes, let's see. That's a very good question. But if we have a breakout on the monthly charts, then that's going to be really big breakout. And if that happens, then we're going to have a really last one leg move, which will be ferocious move. But we will keep updating. Do ask me this, Prakash, again. I will update on this when we have a breakout. Mahesh asking, may I know your qualification, please? What course have you done in stocks and from which institute? So I have an MBA in finance from a top tier 2 college. I don't want to mention the college name. Yeah, it's on my Twitter profile. You can go and check the college Twitter profile. So yeah, and yeah, I also started one of the mutual funds run by students in my college. So that's just to tell from a qualification perspective. I have really I have almost 10 years experience in markets. I also understand fundamental analysis and technical analysis. I hope that helps. I'm not sure why you're asking that, but I hope that helps. So I think that's it. Maybe 5 more minutes. I'll just take up a few more questions on the stocks, starting with Orient Electric. Sorry for rushing because there's so many stocks. So Orient Electric looks good, Rishi. It hasn't broken the lower high, lower lows. On the long-term charts, it is forming nice uptrend. So there's no reason why you should be selling the stock. If you're an investor, keep a stop around 280, 260 levels. Okay, that's my view. Vedanta kind of had a good day today. Again, here, if you're an investor, 240s level that you have to keep your stop loss at. But I think this was just a sell-off and a retest of the breakout, which was here, and I think we should head higher from here. Okay, again, the stop loss, as I mentioned, it should be around 240 odd. Okay, so that's my view. Ion Exchange, crazy stock. This is, yeah. Okay, I'll go to the weekly charts because most of you are investors. So this is a nice uptrend, but if you're a short-term trader, let's just look at monthly charts, right? So it's in a beautiful long-term uptrend. So the breakout happened here around 2014 and it's still going up. So yeah, if you're a short-term trader, then you should not be, can probably add the stock right now. It had a good reversal on the 12th of August, 11th of 12th of, and since then it's been going sideways. It's a perfect setup, I think. So that's the trend line reversal. So just keep a buy stop above 2,300 and it can probably head again to all-time highs. Okay, so that's my view on Ion Exchange. Decal, Binay is asking. So Decal has broken down, I feel. So it's a bad breakdown. So I'd be cautious on the stock and probably enter above all-time highs again, because this was almost a 3 months consolidation or 2 months, 3 months consolidation. It kind of had a breakdown. I'll just take a look at the long-term charts just to see where it is, right? So we're kind of facing resistance there, right around that zone. So it's kind of a cup and handle formation probably, but I'll not be holding the stock right now. If I want to add, I'll be probably adding the stock only about 220 levels, 230 levels probably. Okay, yeah, that's my view on Decal. So anything else? Likita Infra, I think Likita Infra also had a breakdown, but then I'm not sure what happened, right? So I think I also recommended this newsletter and it has kind of broken down from this levels, right? So I wouldn't have expected that in a stock which is doing really well. But again, I'd wait for, so the lower high low structure has high low structure has been broken down completely, and I'll wait probably for this to form again a higher high low. So for now, the lower high, it signifies that it's in a downtrend. So I not invest in the stock. But probably one thing could have been is that gap here is filled now. So it's a very low risk trade setup. You can go long with 320 a stop, but I wouldn't do that right now. I'll probably wait for one swing high, swing low, and then probably add more. Okay, that's my view. Jubilant and Gravita, I've already provided my views. Dabar for positional trading, just want to hear a few words on it. The way you're doing with the stock. So Dabar has given a breakout, right? So Mahesh, so it has, okay, kind of breakout failed, I think. So probably what you can do is, if it comes back down towards levels of 576, then you might want to add the stock. But I think the stock, what it's been doing is it's been going in a narrow range. So that's the problem with the stock. So if you see, this range is very narrow. It's a very slow mover. So I don't really prefer stocks which are moving very slow, right? So this can probably still go for, if you see, since August 30, since last year, since it came back here, it has hardly gone up 70 points. So that's hardly 10% move in the last 1 year, when so many stocks have gone up 50 to 60%. So this is what I say. There was a breakout, but there's no momentum here, right? The momentum is the stock should have gone up a lot in the last 1 year compared to other stocks, right? So I would not be selecting this stock right now, but probably if it comes, towards levels of again towards 550 or odd level, or even if you get around 575, then probably can look for a short-term trade towards 620 odd. But otherwise, I'm not really interested in. It's a large cap stock, and I don't really trade large cap stocks or stocks which are slow movers. Okay, I need a proper pattern, then maybe I take a trade. Okay, yeah, that's my view. Vedanta, Binay, I've given my view. Rishi is asking, can you make a separate video on how to find entry and exit point and charts for intraday and swing trading? I don't do intraday and swing trading. I'm sorry. I have a full-time job, so I don't really do intraday and swing trading. Okay, so you might want to find someone else for swing trading, not me. I'm more of a positional trader because I don't have the time for swing trades. So SK Parabesh is asking, everready. This is last talk I'll be taking, friends. So every day is in a good uptrend, so I don't see a problem still. So maybe this trend line has broken, but the high low structure is not broken. So you can go long right now with a stop of 300. It might head higher and probably go towards all-time highs also. No one knows. So I think I'll stop here, guys. So friends, so in case you are liking the session, don't forget to share it with your friends. So us, yes, oil is setting up nicely. In fact, I kind of had a look at it. You see, it already has given a break. It has given a breakout already from this consolidation here, and in this weak market, this is one stock which has done well. It's been going sideways and it has given a breakout, so it's doing well. Yes, so has agreed to that. So otherwise, Mahesh, the best time for position trading is daily time frame. There's nothing below that, nothing higher than that. So I'll drop here. I'll leave you all here. Trade safe. Keep your risk management in place. And good night. Good night, Aditi, as well. I'll see you.